Hello friend or potential future enemy. I'm Shima. Welcome to the Unfortunate Archives. I just wanted to, quickly acknowledge that all opinions are subjective. However, nothing on this list is an opinion. They're all actually the objective truth, and they're based on my years of extensive research in this area as an expert. And I do also believe that I'm the arbiter of good taste in literature. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's do the video. If your favorite book of all time is any book in the Harry Potter series, then you're the kind of person who doesn't feel as proud or as excited about your own accomplishments as other people do over theirs, even though objectively speaking, you're actually doing pretty well in life. So, if your favorite book is The Night Circus, then you've definitely read this book more than once and you haven't managed to find another book since that scratches your brain in quite the same way, but you don't actually get depressed over that. You've accepted it and instead you use all of that energy to romanticize the fall season like it's your main personality trait. If your favorite book is anything by Virginia Woolf, first, you're a woman. Second, you've written some pretty great essays in your life. And third, at some point you did consider getting a lighthouse or another kind of literary iconography tattoo, even though deep down you always knew that you're not the kind of person who is ever gonna get a tattoo. If your favorite book is A Little Life, then you're someone who has had a lot of privileges in life, but you've also gone through something that was actually incredibly difficult and you don't talk to other people about, even though it would actually help if you did. If your favorite book is Pride and Prejudice, then at some point in your life, you've at least briefly considered that you might be asexual. And if you haven't, think about it. If your favorite book is The Virgin Suicides, then you were the kind of teenager who thought she was going through a rebellious adolescent phase, when in reality you never did anything that crazy and you still did pretty well at school. And now as an adult, you smoke. If your favorite book is Catcher in the Rye, I don't want to say this, but I feel like you need to hear it. Pretty much no thought or experience anyone ever has is unique. So whatever is going through your mind, other people have thought those same thoughts, like they're not unique to you, and that's okay. If your favorite book is The Secret History, then Saltburn was aggressively pushed to you by the Instagram algorithm or whatever social media you use, and then you watched it and thought it was pretty meh, even though you did actually enjoy the aesthetics of it. If your favorite book is The Lord of the Rings, then you are a man. You're very likely a white man or someone with a white man's mentality, so you probably wouldn't be watching this video anyway. If your favorite book is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, you either have really high expectations of yourself or you're the kind of person who has a higher tolerance for uncertainty than your average person. It's one or the other, definitely not both. And despite every warning, you definitely would make a deal with a god who answers after dark. If your favorite book is Little Women, you distinctly remember the first time that you read about how Amy had burned Joe's manuscript, and it genuinely is your first experience of true betrayal. If your favorite book is The Bell Jar, I don't think you actually have clinical depression, but you've definitely experienced the crushing weight of a single email sitting in your inbox for way too long. If your favorite book was Anne of Green Gables, or still is, then you were kind of a spaced out child, but not to the point where anyone was actually concerned. They just kind of like noticed it. And now as an adult, you're really prone to bouts of nostalgia. And to this day, seeing puffy sleeves makes you really happy. If your favorite book is Lolita, when you tell people your favorite book is Lolita, you play it off as if you're a bit embarrassed because you're aware of the stereotypes associated with it, even though deep down you're actually really proud of that choice. And you might superficially deny it, but you do think you have better taste in films than other people, and you call it films, never movies. If your favorite book is Piranesi, you do actually have really great taste in literature and you do genuinely love to read, but you're also the kind of person who is very aware of how they're being perceived by others. So when you tell people your favorite book is Piranesi, you also really like the image of you that it creates in their mind. If your favorite book is anything by Brandon Sanderson but Tress, so Mistborn, Stormlight, etc., then you call yourself a nerd and you do that thing when you pretend like you're being a bit self-deprecating, when actually in your mind being a nerd has completely positive connotations. For Stormlight fans specifically, you probably advocate for mental health and you really encourage your friends and family to seek therapy when they need it, but actually on the inside you're a bit uncomfortable with seeing a therapist yourself, and there are times when you think, books are enough therapy for me. Now, if your favorite book is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson, this was probably the first Sanderson book that you read, and then you got a bit disappointed when you realized that none of his other books have remotely the same vibe. You either currently crochet or you're intrigued enough by the activity to try it at some point in the future. If your favorite book is anything by Murakami other than what I talk about when I talk about running, you are a man and you definitely consider yourself a sensitive boy, even though you're not sensitive enough to let the overt sexualization of female characters in his books ruin the experience for you. On the off chance that you're not a man, you've either internalized the male gaze to the point where you don't even notice it anymore, or more likely you've developed a kind of defense mechanism that acts similar to like psychological blinkers, so you just ignore anything that you don't like in the media that you consume for the sake of enjoying it. You probably also like Tarantino. If your favorite book of all time is what I talk about when I talk about running by Murakami, you run marathons. If your favorite book is anything by Neil Gaiman, you've gone through a lot in the past year and I don't really want to make fun of you. That being said, if you're primarily a Coraline, Graveyard Book, or Good Omens fan, then, the whole ordeal with Neil Gaiman genuinely did taint those stories for you, at least a little bit. But if you're primarily a Sandman or American Gods fan, then there was a part of you that was kind of like, oh, why should I let this whole thing ruin my enjoyment of my favorite books? This whole thing really sucks for me. If your favorite book is The Hunger Games, then you do get genuinely mad when people consider it just a silly love triangle for teenagers, and you are correct in that the series has some really genuine, insightful critiques of society. However, it is also true that when you read it as a teenager, you did care deeply about the love triangle. If your favorite book is Heartstopper, if you're a woman, you've read fanfiction before and you very likely still do on at least a semi-regular basis. If you're a man, you are gay and you've had a crush on a straight man at some point, which is okay. And if you don't identify as either of those, then you're actually kind of disappointed in me for talking in binary terms throughout this video. But if it's any consolation, you probably do actually have great taste in literature. If your favorite book is any book in the Discworld series, then you do actually have a pretty great sense of humor, but you genuinely really need to find your people. Otherwise, you're just gonna be stuck making references that no one around you understands, and that's not fun for anyone. If your favorite book of all time is any book by Sarah J Maas or any other popular romantasy, including Fourthwing, then you are aggressively straight. Like, you're so straight that you can break the Kinsey scale. In fact, you're so straight that you might not even know what the Kinsey scale is. Even if you're actively gay outside of this, as a reader, you are an aggressively straight woman. And that's fine. I also would bet that Taylor Swift has been your top artist at least once on Spotify Wrapped or Apple Unwind or, in deep in your heart. If your favorite book is something in the Percy Jackson series, then there are two things I want to say to you. The first is, and this is the absolute truth, anytime there is any content anywhere on the internet that could be related to Percy Jackson, even in the most tangential way, there will be one of you in the comments pointing that out and maybe even making a damn joke about it. And I love that for you. And the second thing is, even though you publicly denounced the movie and you do agree that the changes to the source material were kind of ridiculous, you deep down do believe that it was a pretty fun movie. If your favorite book wasn't on the list, then take a moment to bask in that secret feeling of specialness that gives you, and then maybe let me know what it is in the comments, and if I have enough material, I'll make a part 2. Also, feel free to let me know if I was correct, or more likely let me know how incredibly incorrect and inaccurate I was. I will deeply enjoy reading those as well. Other than that, you know, have a good life. So please take care of yourselves, and I'll see you real soon. Bye bye. I just wanna say that I like or love almost every book on this list. Not all of them, but you don't need to know which ones I don't like. I'm just saying that because I want you to know that whatever I'm gonna say about you, I'm also kind of saying about myself. So, you know, maybe don't send me death threats.